long trip. Welcome back to another K24 FRS time attack car build video. Not exactly the video I wanted to make, but this straw I was drawn. So in this video I'm going to be tearing it apart. I just put it together. She hasn't been running too long, but yeah, we get to tear her back apart again. So I'm going to tear as much of the front off as possible. Might have to chop a few things just to get in there and see what the damage is. If you want to know what happened, watch my other video where I was at NCM and I may have sent it a little too hard and hit a tire wall. So watch that if you haven't. So I'm going to try to get the rest of the bumper off, headlights, take the crash beam off, radiator, and well, what's left of that stuff. Take it all out, get it all out of the way, and might have to take the cutting saw to some of this to peel it back. Probably take that fender off, and that way we can see the damage. Main concern is this frame rail on this side. Hopefully it's not too messed up. But engine wise looks pretty good. I bet if I undo the oil lines and plug that back up, I bet this thing will start and run under its own power. Just a disclaimer, I am not a body expert by any means. I'm just trying to figure things out as I go and kind of learn as I go. I kind of like to problem solve and try to figure things out and try to do as much as I can here at home. I do plan on taking it to an expert, to a body shop when I can, but that's going to take time. So until then, I do what I can here. Back to the video. The front end apart so I can nice big view. This definitely took the majority of the impact. See how it's bowed in the middle and that side's tweaked up over to the side. Got my scrap power going over here. Still need to start working on this side. Maybe take that fender off, the lining, take these hoses out and kind of just move some of the stuff out of the way. Take the battery out. Okay, I got front of the car taken apart. Got that fender off so I can kind of see everything, get everything out of the way. And some of the damage I can find is, you see this where the frame connects to the towel. Came apart a little bit. Keep in mind, this car has been wrecked before on this side. This car has a rebuilt title. And some of this, like, is from previous accidents. But I think this accident just made it worse again. So yeah, that definitely came apart. See, there's a crease here. See that crease? And there's a crease in there. Not sure you can see. In the second hole. And where else? I think here it's kind of creased a little bit. So this has definitely moved a little bit. I'm not sure how much. I'm not sure if the distance between here and here is true or not. You know, it's something I'm going to take to a body shop and have them check it out, measure it out. I've been looking at the suspension and everything looks fine. It's kind of hard to tell if this low control arm is still true or not. I mean, I looked at the opposite side and it looks about the same. The Campbell bolt definitely adjusted. So, for the most part, it's not that bad. It's probably definitely fixable. You know, if I take it to a body shop and have them pull that out a little bit. Like, even here, the only really crease I see is this, and that was already there from the previous accident before I got it, which I didn't even know was there for a long. I've had this car for a few years before I noticed that, because it was always covered up by the fender and side skirt and stuff. I never saw it until years later where the damage was. Got to clean the inside because all the stuff got thrown in here. Now it's kind of a mess. It's alright. Here's the other half of my bumper. My light. Okay, the first piece of my rebuild puzzle has arrived. Thanks for Ryan for shipping it to me. There's a radiator and both fans. Figured if I get things running again, then one, I can test drive it and see if it's pulling or anything, if the steering feels funny. Also, if I do take it to like a body shop or something, it'd be easier to me to drive the car on a trailer and move it around and stuff if I had it drivable. So let's put this in. Got my radiator in, got my hoses hooked up. I need to put some coolant in it. And I also need to do something temporarily with all the wiring and stuff. So put my battery back in. And this stuff probably gonna come in and out a few times. I do have a full radiator support on the way, which means this comes with it, so I gotta get rid of that. And I'll put it on and hopefully things still line up. So as soon as I finished putting coolant and my radiator and kind of setting things up, I got a big package. The big old box. I was expecting it to get in here this early, but it's here. So let's unwrap it. It is my radiator support. I went ahead and bought the whole thing. And this side's already bent to hell. What the fuck? Luckily it's pretty easy to bend, pretty pliable, so I should be able to straighten that out. I was able to straighten that out pretty easily with my hand, so hopefully it's good enough for the headlight to stay flush. And also the bottom portion I will not be using, because I believe that portion is riveted, not riveted, but spot welded onto the body, and it seems to be okay. Doesn't look very messed up, twisted, anything. So I'm just gonna leave that there and just use the top portion, because the top portion does unbolt. So I'll be able to use that and just bolt it back on there. But I am gonna have to take my intake off, even though I just put it on. And hopefully I can just partly take this spindle off to get this piece off. But everything else should, like the radiator, should be able to stay on there. So let's do that. Okay, while I was taking this apart, I've realized a few little small roadblocks that I'm going to have to address. Is this headlight support, I guess I'll call it. See, it's two different pieces here. It's spot welded right here. But the new one, it's one solid piece. See, it continues and it's spot welded up here on that piece. So probably gonna have to take this whole thing off and drill out the spot welds in here to separate this from this, to then spot weld that to that. So I thought it was just going to be a bolt on, bolt off type situation. It's not, but luckily I do have a welder, so it's not the end of the world. Just a little bit extra work I'm going to have to do. And the other side, pretty much the same thing, except for on the old one, it's probably easier to see. There's a spot weld there, spot weld on the other side. Hopefully the top portion of it isn't so out of whack that I can still use it with the new one. Also, I'm going to have to find one of these which sits here, which is what the fender bolts onto and bolts to the body of the car. So yeah, some spot welding I'm going to have to do to get this thing to work. I guess that means I do have to take this fender off. I was hoping I wouldn't have to. Got the fender partly off, just out of the way so I can get to those spot welds. But before I do that one, I'll probably practice on my shitty messed up one, since I'm not a body guy, not something I have a lot of experience with. So I'm going to try to salvage this piece off, which means I need to drill out these welds. But since I have this out, you can see where this was fixed before. Somebody else spot welded this together. See all these kind of rusty bits? You can tell they spot welded it, but they didn't paint it or anything afterwards. Two separated. This is the passenger side. I do not need any of this, luckily, but unfortunately I still need this. I tried to find another one on eBay. Currently don't have any right now, so I'm going to try my best to straighten this out. I'm going to have to flatten this out and flatten this out. It should look like that. See, it welds here and here. So I'm going to have to re-weld those. I'm actually going to have to re-weld this one too, because it broke the weld a little bit. But that's an easy fix. Now I'm in the part where I'm bringing out the sledgehammer and start showing her some tough love, which you probably don't want to see. Some sketchy shit. So I'm gonna end the video here, and I'll catch you guys later to continue my front end rebuild. It's definitely not gonna be nice. It's not gonna be what it once was. Granted, it was a little messed up tweak to begin with, so if things not perfect, I'm not going to be upset as long as it drives straight and does the job. I'd be happy with it. But come back for the next video. We're going to continue this. Until then, peace out. Don't do anything I would do. See you later.